everyone. Matthias here with Artificial Conference. I'm here with the amazing, inspirational Matt Wolfe. Matt, brother, how are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to chat about AI and nerd out with you as we always do.
Man, it's another day. It's another day of that AI is changing the world. That's the way that I look at it. We're coming up to the Artificial Conference, and there's a lot of people talking on this subject. And one thing that everybody wants to know is, why should I listen to you on this? What makes you an authority, or what makes you excited about this space? Why someone should listen to you?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't necessarily see myself as an authority. I guess others do, but the reason I think others see me as an authority is I'm just in the rabbit hole all the time, right? To keep my finger on the pulse of the AI news, the latest AI tools. I run a site called Future Tools where I curate all of the latest tools that are coming out in the AI space. I curate all the latest news that's coming out in the AI space. I have a YouTube channel where I make 3 videos a week that keeps people up to date with all the latest advancements in AI. And since I'm so focused on creating all this content around what's going on in the AI space, I tend to keep my finger on the pulse a little bit more than most around what's available and what's in the pipeline and what's coming and the various expectations people should have around AI. I feel like I've got a fairly strong grasp around that just because I've made it my role in my business essentially to just always stay down that rabbit hole and keep my finger on that pulse.
Yeah, and I would say you've done a great job, because every time I'm seeing something, I'm like, what? I didn't know about that. And I'm in a lot of different feeds. Yeah, you're doing an excellent job.
Appreciate that.
With all the different things that you're seeing, what are some of the things that you are most excited about in the world of AI that's exciting to you?
So I'm a creative, right? I love making YouTube videos. I love finding new and creative ways to improve my videos and to better entertain people. And one of my goals with all of my YouTube videos is to have something in that video that makes people go, oh, wow, I didn't even know you can do that. That's really cool. That's like I want every video to have that kind of reaction. And so some of the stuff that I'm most impressed by these days is a lot of the video generation tools that are coming out right now. There's a lot of really cool tools around image to video that I've been really excited about, where you can generate an image in Midjourney and then pull it into a tool like Gen 2 or Pika Labs and then actually turn that still image into a cool animated video and then string together frames from that video to make it a longer video. That stuff to me is really exciting. And then there's some really cool stuff in the text-to-speech world where it's getting better and better at generating text-to-speech that actually sounds like a real human. And I think that's really exciting for content creators, for game developers, for people who want to create content, but maybe English isn't their first language. Now they have an opportunity to have videos and create content that's just perfectly spoken in whatever language of choice they're trying to create in. So those are the things that are really exciting me right now, is the stuff that just gives creators superpowers.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's one of the things. I was looking at some text to audio, some voice replication. Who are you really liking? I think 11 Labs a lot of people know about, but is there anybody else in that space that you're really excited about?
11 Labs is probably the one that's doing it the best right now. It seems like some of these other tools are constantly trying to catch up with 11 Labs. There are some other out there. There's one, I believe it's called Bark, which is an open source version of kind of what 11 Labs does. So, if you've got a strong enough computer, you can actually download the code and run it on your own computer. But me personally, I still just use 11 Labs because I think it's the best. And I think everything else out there is just trying to catch up to what 11 Labs has accomplished.
Oh, that's really cool. So there's a lot of different subjects that are going to be covered at the conference. From art, we have some of the most amazing folks in the world of art and generative AI that are using the tools, leading and educating. People like Don Allen, Heather Cooper. We have an amazing lineup of folks. And in addition to that, we also have people doing business, like business automation, like Anthony Lee, programming like Erica Lee, and law, to be able to talk about, how does this all play a part in the bigger picture of things? I know it's a broad thing, but who would you say are some prime people that would be good to attend and participate in these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm speaking honestly, I feel like AI over the coming years is going to pretty much touch everybody, right? It's going to impact and affect everybody. Where I think the biggest impacts lie right now are for creators, people that are trying to make YouTube videos, podcasts, bloggers. So the people that sort of fall under that creator umbrella. And then also, like you mentioned, business owners, especially the smaller businesses that want to try to accomplish things that the bigger businesses could accomplish with hundreds of employees, AI helps us do that by ourselves or with only a handful of employees or a handful of VAs. And so I think we're getting to this point where technology and abilities that only large companies had the ability to do, it's now getting democratized, and smaller solopreneurs and smaller 10 or less person businesses can accomplish things that bigger businesses used to be able to do. So really, to answer that question, creators and business owners that are looking for ways to just make their lives easier and make their business simpler and more automated. I do run a business as well. I have a YouTube channel. That's what I'm most known for. But I also run a business called Future Tools, where I have my curated list of websites and I sell featured listings on the website. That site is me and one other person completely automated through AI. So, right now, the biggest gains in AI, I think, are being found in the creator economy and also small businesses.
Yeah, no, that's really huge. So what would you say to someone who's on the fence about attending and investing in more information when it comes to AI? They're like, oh, you know what? I'll wait it out. I'll see how it goes. Is this another fad? Is this NFTs? Is this another fad? Where should I? Well, they're on the fence. They don't know. Should I invest in this information? Should I invest in conferences like this? What would you say to someone like that?
I can promise them that it's not a fad. It's only going to improve and get better and become more omnipresent and all around them. So it's definitely something that you should be paying attention to. I also think that there's an element that if you're not paying attention to this stuff, you're not investing in conferences like this, you're not investing in educating yourself and getting more knowledgeable about this stuff, it probably will pass you by. There's been so many different quotes. I know Jensen Huang said it before. Your job's probably not going to get replaced by AI. Your job's probably going to get replaced by someone who uses AI. So I think it's important to make sure that you are keeping yourself up to date and educated on all the latest systems, because that's what companies are looking for. That's what creators are looking for. That's what people that are looking to pay you money are looking for. They want the people that know how to use this stuff.
Yeah, using the best tools so you're not outdated using a chisel when someone's asking for digital sculpts or something like that. That's not going to work. You need something different.
Absolutely.
So you have a really large audience and you probably get a lot of comments across the board. What are some of the pain points of people in this space that you're getting?
There's a lot of tools out there, right? So one of the big pain points is just knowing what tools to use. You and I were just having a discussion about 11 Labs here and what some of the alternatives are. That's a big pain point for people. Is it's gotten to a point where there is just so many tools out there that people don't know necessarily the right tools to be working with. And there are definitely tools that are better than others. There are tools that are leading the class in various areas. And I think it's important to stay up to date on the best in class tools. I think that's one pain point. I think another pain point is just the fear of where all of this is going. I think there's a lot of ethical, philosophical, just existential worries about where AI is taking us. And that seems to be a big topic of conversation, especially in the comment sections of some of my videos, is every time I'm showing off one of these new tools that can do something that used to be done by a human, it scares people a little bit. So that's another pain point that I think conferences like this can help ease some of those fears. It can help prepare people for what's coming and what tools to lean into and what can be done to quell some of these fears that you might have about where this is all headed.
No, that's a big deal. And I feel it as a creative myself really powerfully in that space. It's like the young boy in me is, ooh, I can make everything. And then it's, oh, everybody can make everything. Does that even matter now? It's storytelling and things like that.
Yep.
It's transforming so many spaces. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about is you get to see, we're seeing right now so many different spaces transform. Have you seen anything within your own life as far as in your own expertise, and how has AI transformed things in your field that you're most familiar or passionate about? How have you seen it transform?
Oh man, that can be probably an hour-long discussion right there. It's transformed me and my businesses in so many ways, right? So I've been doing online businesses and building websites and doing digital marketing and things like that for 14 years now.
Wow.
And only in the past year and a half have I managed to have a business where it's just me and one other person running this business, because so much of the automation on that business is just happening by AI. My Future Tools website right now, a lot of the automation is happening because of GPT 3.5 APIs that are running in the background. A lot of the content that's getting produced on the site that describes what these tools do, that content is being generated through automations using AI. The way that I keep in the loop with the news on a daily basis is through AI. I use a tool called Feedly Leo, which is a tool that scours the internet for everything that's AI related. And then I train this algorithm to say, I like news like this, I don't like news like this. And the feed over time trains and gets better and better at only presenting the news and information that I care to see and share with others. So I'm using AI to keep my finger on the pulse and stay in the loop with stuff. When I write my newsletters to my audience, I use AI to help me come up with some of the ideas that I talk about in the newsletter. I've used AI as almost like a personal therapist where I'm struggling with ideas for my business, or I'm struggling with how to handle something with my son. I would go to ChatGPT and ask it for advice, and it's almost become a trusted advisor in a lot of areas of my life. The ways that it has transformed my life over the last year and a half have just been so many that I can't even count. I've never been somebody who's been great at art specifically. I'm a creator in the sense that I like making videos, I like making podcasts, but I've always sucked at art. Well, tools like Midjourney and Leonardo and Stable Diffusion and Adobe Firefly have made it so that my art skills are up-leveled and on a level playing field with everybody else. Yeah, it's a long-winded answer to that question, but there's just so many ways that it's changed my life.
No, that's it. And it's true. Like it has, every time I have a question, I'm just like, oh, there's already an answer for that. I don't even really need to ask the question. I'm just need to see what actions do I want to take, because the information is there. It's like the collective knowledge of humanity in a prompt. Like that's it. That's all you need.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
we have a lot of minds coming together. Is there any interesting collaborations or conversations that you're interested in hearing while at the conference?
Yeah, I'm just interested in hearing. It's one of those things where I don't know what I don't know. And I always like to have that sort of beginner's mind when I come into stuff like this of what am I going to find out that I don't know I'm going to find out. And I think that's what's most exciting about this AI world for me is stepping into some of these conferences, stepping into some of these panels and going, what am I going to find out that's going to blow my mind today? What am I going to find out that I don't know yet? But there are some conversations I'm really excited to have. Heather Cooper is somebody who's a good friend of mine, and she's one of the best digital artists out there using some of the tools like Midjourney and Leonardo. And I think she's out there right now teaching a course on how to be better with Midjourney. So I'm excited to learn even more from her about up-leveling some of my art skills with tools like Midjourney. There's so many conversations that I'm excited to have. But again, it all comes down to that I don't know what I don't know. And that's why these conferences are exciting to me.
Yeah, definitely. One of the big things about all the conferences and getting together is networking. And it can't be emphasized enough. It's something that I really focus on whenever I'm there. And some people, this could be something that's a little bit out of their comfort zone. What advice would you give to someone who's attending the conference or even attending online in chat and things like that to really maximize their interactions and to build relationships?
I'm one of those people. I tend to lean more introverted by nature. When I got to some of these events, I tend to be more introverted. So I definitely relate to that. But I'm also somebody that I know that the next sort of phase of whatever I'm trying to achieve just lies right outside of my comfort zone. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but going up and seeing a circle of people having an interesting conversation, stepping into that conversation and saying, hey guys, what are we talking about? And trying to join in on the conversations. What people tend to forget that everybody is there because they want to network. They want to know other people in the space. They want to find new ideas and find new people to collaborate with and learn new information. Pretty much everybody at these events tends to be fairly accepting of you going up and saying, hey, what are we talking about? What can I learn from you? Maybe don't put it in those words. That's awkward. But going up and joining some of these conversations, people are happy for you to join in because they probably want to meet you just as much as you want to meet them. And that's where I lie when it comes to some of these events is it makes me very uncomfortable, but I know that the next phase of what I'm trying to achieve lies just right outside of that comfort zone.
No, that's awesome. That's definitely great advice. So what would be, lastly, when people are on their way to the conference or tuning in online, is there any last things you want to say to the audience or anybody who's on their way?
Just embrace what's coming with the AI stuff. Sit in on panels, sit in on discussions that maybe you look at the title of what's going on in the room and you're like, oh, that doesn't really interest me. Have an open mind, because what I tend to find when I go to conferences like this is some of the panels, some of the presentations that maybe the title doesn't grab my attention, some of those tend to be some of the most fascinating panels, because those are the areas where you're walking into something where maybe it's not a world you know a lot about, and it's just going to blow your mind. It's going to be something you're fascinated by. So I love going in and sitting in on panels or presentations on topics that aren't really my normal area of expertise. If you're sitting in on the areas that are your normal area of expertise, you're probably going to go sit into an echo chamber, right? Go and sit in on the stuff that is something that you don't know much about, something that maybe hasn't been on your radar yet, because those are the panels, those are the presentations where you're probably going to have your mind blown and you're probably going to have your worldview opened up quite a bit.
No, that's awesome. Matt, thanks so much, man. This is super exciting. Love to have you, and super excited to have you running this hosting gig with some of the people that you mentioned. So it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I'm excited to get out there, excited to meet you in person, excited to people like Heather Cooper, some of these people I've had conversations with online, but never actually met in person. So excited to actually get out there and meet people in real life with this AI world that we're all in. It's easy to sit behind our computers and have conversations with people and never actually get out and touch grass, so to speak. And so I'm excited to get out and shake hands and meet people IRL. So it's going to be an exciting event.
Awesome.